Hey everybody, Python here. In this video, I want to talk about the stack of games right here. You're wondering, what are these games? Well, they're none other than the games that comprise my favorite series, Pikmin. So, when it comes to collecting games, basically, of course, my biggest goal in collecting in general was to own every game in the series, but not just every game, but every version. That means that there was like the GameCube, Wii version, Wii U, all that stuff. I was finally able to get them all, and it was last month I finally finished out by getting the Wii versions of 1 and 2. So I'm gonna walk you through each game, and before that I did make a Pikmin collection video a while back, like probably almost 3 years I think at this point, celebrating the 20th anniversary of Pikmin. You can go watch that. I'll leave the card here, and I'll have a link in the description. But since then, I basically showed not just the games, but whatever collectibles that I have or whatever. And ever since that video, the only other memorabilia that I have is just this Kung Fu Tea collaboration with Pikmin 4 that happened, that they sold some bubble tea celebrating Pikmin 4's launch, and this one has a blue Pikmin. The bubble tea was alright. Yeah. So there's that. Alright, so let's start with the first game here. We have Pikmin 1 for the GameCube. This is what started my love for gaming, the thing that made me completely fall in love with it. And it's still dear to me to this day. Now, I don't think it's a perfect game, especially after I played the Switch version of 1. Before I made this video, I at least wanted to go through the first 2 games on the Switch completely, 100% of both of them. So it's still very dear to me. This isn't my original copy. It's inside the GameCube right now, that's why it's not there. But this is my original copy. This is one that I got back around when the pandemic first started. That I got really serious about collecting games at that point. This is Pikmin 2 on the GameCube, and it's the player's choice. This is actually my childhood copy, the one that I got when I was a kid after I received the first one for Christmas. So, it doesn't have a manual. I don't know what happened to it, but I'll buy one at some point. But this is the most priciest version of any of the games in the series, so it has been dropping due to Pikmin 1 and 2 being on a Switch, but not enough for me to want to jump on it yet. But yeah, this is my favorite in the series. I still prefer the GameCube version over the Switch version, or the Wii version. Let me scoot this down a bit here. There we go. Alright, then we have, next came out, I'm going in chronological order by the way, the release order of these games. Next we have Pikmin for the Wii. This is the new Play Control version. So I have a lot of beef with this version. First of all, I am not a fan of the Wii controls. I just am not, but it is cool. This version has an inside cover that basically formats it like a regular Wii cover art instead of the weird Play Control. So I think that's neat. I used to have this as a kid. After I didn't have this version anymore, I think this was bought for me. But this isn't that copy. I had just gotten this a month ago, back in April, for cheap. I think I got it for 20 something. Yeah, every version has dropped in price because of the Switch re-releases. So yeah, this is probably my least favorite mainline version of any of the mainline games, mainly because of the controls, and I just felt like they kind of broke the game, and I wasn't a fan how it introduced a whole lot more bugs and stuff into the game. and basically made it almost unplayable, honestly, but it's still great. It's still great. And we have the new Play Control version of Pikmin 2, but in the US, in North America, we only got it as a Nintendo Select, because this released in 2009, a year later after this version. But we got this in 2012, so by then they were like, whatever, just stick it as a Nintendo Selects. I like this version more than this version, like Wii-wise. Now, yeah, it's a little biased because Pikmin 2 is my favorite game, but I felt like, yeah, the controls were an issue, but the bugs, there were less bugs introduced, and I felt like the tweaks were a bit more beneficial when it came to this version, so I still prefer this version, but this isn't as bad as, or isn't as gimped as the first game is. Then we have Pikmin 3 on the Wii U. So I actually did not experience this first when it first came out back in 2013. I never had a Wii U back then. I got one finally like at around 2021, and I finally played the Wii U version like literally days before Pikmin 4 came out in 2023 for the first time. So yeah, I severely missed out on this, but I personally, I'm still kind of fighting. I think when it comes to like the weakest one, I'm either going with the first one because it's the first one, it's the most limited and clunkiest and stuff, but third one because I just felt like it was too easy. I don't really like the pacing all that much in the story mode. Like the story mode is probably pretty weak. I do like the characters, but the execution isn't all that grand, especially how they treated Blue Pikmin in that game. But the extra modes, the multiplayer, that completely is what I would probably put this over the first game. But yeah, I'm glad I'm glad I finally do have the Wii U version of that. I think I bought it a couple years ago, like 2021 or something like that. A bit after the Wii U. So next, that came out. So basically after this game, we already, like, if you know, basically it took forever for us to finally get Pikmin 4. It took like 10 years. But during that time, a couple of things had come out, and that is Hey Pikmin, that released in summer 2017, so now this is like 7 years old. Look, I know this isn't what people wanted from Pikmin 4, I get it, but I do actually like the game. It is a bit of a slog. It's not anything unlike, like, it's like a 2D platformer by the people that made like New Yoshi's Island, Balan Wonderworld. I know that's not really a good track record, but I think this is good enough for what it's trying to be. I do think the music is actually very marvelous, and it like heavily carries this game. But yeah, I highly suggest you guys give this another try if you like. Game fell out. Honestly, this is the first instance of me not really liking the font on the cover art that much. The Pikmin logo, it's like a bit more bland looking, but we'll get to that in a bit. Alright. Then we have the Switch releases. We have Pikmin 3 Deluxe. So this is actually how I experienced Pikmin 3 the first time. When this was revealed back in 2020, I was ecstatic. I was losing my mind. I was like, oh my god, finally, this is cool. Like, my Pikmin drought is finally over. Like, again, back in 2020, I didn't have a Wii U yet. So, so I was like, oh my god, I need to get it. And I got it for my birthday. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And I gotta tell you, they added a whole lot more stuff here, like extra missions, all the DLC. They added story mode co-op, and I'm like, oh my god, the achievements, like, this is the definitive way to play it. I know people are very stuck up on the gamepad controls, but honestly, I played through it again. I played through it last year for the first time. I was not that much of a fan of the gamepad, honestly, usage, and it kind of hurts me. But yeah, this is my favorite version of the game right here. Go ahead and put this. Let me go ahead and rearrange this a bit on. see if I can make this fit a little more. Then, now this technically came out after and before Pikmin, Pikmin 4, Pikmin 1 and 2 HD. They're basically like enhanced ports of Pikmin 1 and 2. They're based on the Wii versions, unfortunately, but I do think that they are actual improved versions from the Wii versions. So they added a bunch, especially Pikmin 1. Pikmin 1, it became my favorite version of the first game because of all like the tweaks. They got rid of the bugs, especially the crushing glitch, which was horrific in the first two versions of the game. They tweaked the AI to make the Pikmin respond better, including the player and gameplay. Is like, it made it much more snappier to play. But the second game had a bit less quality of life. I also didn't like some of the text changes, dialogues, the treasures being changed, so it kind of does hamper my experience a bit, so that's why I kind of still lean more towards the GameCube version. But yeah, very nice that we actually did get a physical. Basically, the digital versions came out in like summer last year in 2023, like June I think, and then we got this physical in September, so like 2 months after the fourth game came out. And it does have like this cute alternate cover with like a green spine. Basically, this is like the Japanese original cover with like the original models right there of 1 and 2. Even like the second game's clay aesthetic. Well, like the front is just like a redone renders of both covers combined. And not a big fan, honestly, especially the logo change there. Now I didn't mention Pikmin Bloom, but that is like a release in the Pikmin series. I have it on my phone. That released like a year later after Pikmin 3 Deluxe in 2021. It's okay. I think it's okay. It's probably my least favorite Pikmin game, honestly. And then we finally have, last but not least, Pikmin 4, which released in July 2023. Almost a year has passed, and I 100%ed it. I played it like from launch day, just non-stop day in and day out. And I think it took me like 51 hours to 100%, which is absolutely insane for a Pikmin game to take that long to 100%. So much content. Not a big fan of the multiplayer, the Dandori Battle multiplayer, but it being implemented in the main story was good. All the extra content, the Sage mode, the Sage Trials, the Holimart extra mode, it was also good. It was my game of the year of 2023, by the way. So yeah, that is finally my number one goal in that as a game collector, is to like have every version, every game in the series for my favorite series, Pikmin. It feels so good to finally have them all. And if you've played any of these games, tell me in the comments, like, what are your experiences? Are you a first timer? Are you a long time fan? What are your experiences with Pikmin? Like, which one did you start on? My recommendation, I can't forget the cup, of course. My recommendation is to just start at like 4 or 3 Deluxe. It's that simple. They're much more approachable than 1 and 2. I would not suggest going to 1 and 2 first, but once you play either 4 or 3, then I would suggest going to 1 and 2. Just stick to the Switch versions, honestly. I might have my beef with Pikmin 2 on the Switch, but they're portable, they're very convenient to play, and that is, these are like how I'm gonna basically stick with them now. Even if I do prefer Pikmin 2 on the GameCube, I'm probably never gonna play these Wii versions ever again. But yeah, we have the release order is always kind of fascinating. We have the original with 2001, and we have second game with 2004, 2008, I think it was, no, 2009 for the 2008, 2009 for this one, 2009, 2012 for this version, then 2013, and we have the 2017 Hey Pikmin spinoff, and 2020, which that's like a big gap here, like 4 years, 3 years here, 4 years, 3 years for 3 Deluxe, and then 1 and 2 releasing in June, July 2023, and physical in September, and then finally July 2023 for the 4th game. So, yep, this series, I also forgot to mention that I absolutely adore Pikmin 4's art inside of the case. Them carrying stuff, my macaroon and stuff, it's very cute. It's gonna be 23 years old, coming up soon, I think. 24, 23 years old. Which is actually crazy. When I put it into perspective, 23 years of this series. Now, I don't have the e-reader cards for the second game. I don't really consider that a complete game. That's more of like an the e-reader cards, I always thought of them as like interactive cards. Again, I have a bunch of them. I grew up with the e-reader. I don't have the e-reader itself anymore, but I do have a lot of like the Super Mario Bros. 3 cards and stuff like that. I think I have baseball, the e-reader baseball card, but I don't have a single one of those cards. They're hard to find, and they're expensive, and there's a lot of them. I think there's like 60 to 70 something cards, and I can simply just like they have like bonus puzzle games inside, like 2D sprite based puzzle games, and someone did make a ROM of those things put together as a package, and I'll play through that at some point. And then once I get through that, I'll even do a tier list of all these versions if you want me to. I'll probably do a poll on Twitter or something. But yeah, my number one goal as a game collector is to have this whole, my favorite series of all time, physically, all the games in the series, every version of the game. And I love Pikmin. I love making Pikmin content. It always seems to do well every time that I make some, as you can see here. But if you liked the video, if you want me to do more stuff like this, I did want to do a Xenoblade one as well, because that was kind of like another big goal of mine I can do. And if you want like any other series, Zelda series, I did do like my 2D Mario platform game collection. That did pretty well. I think I got like 200 views. So yeah, any series, Zelda, Mario, F-Zero, whatever, Star Fox. I like making these specific game series collection videos, and I hope you do too. And that, like, subscribe if you appreciate it, comment, leave a comment. I would love to read what you have to say. And I know that I haven't uploaded in quite a while, but I am definitely back, and more content to come. Bye.